Hi there, Tracy here. I may have bitten off more than I can chew, but I'm going to attempt to turn this into this in 6 hours. That's my goal for today, to make up 15 10 plus serving freezer meals. We'll be eating one a week for the next 15 weeks is the plan. So I went and did a freezer inventory yesterday, and I pulled everything I wanted to use up. My goal is to have the small freezer up here completely empty and put all my freezer meals in there. But I didn't want to buy stuff to make freezer meals. I want to use what I already have and know that that stuff will be used up in the next few weeks. So there's a few bits and bobs of frozen veggies. I want to go through all my frozen herbs because I'm starting to get herbs again. I have one little package of scallops. I'm going to do a sausage pie, chicken pot pie, lasagna. I have some deer. I have some ground beef. Some spinach is going in the lasagna. I'm going to do a pesto pasta dish. And then some different canned goods I'm going to use up. So there's a lot here. Actually, there's a couple more items in the fridge too that I plan on using up. I kind of want to start fresh. So this is what I'm doing today. I'm going to do my best to film as I go. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I have a pot in the fridge that I simmered rhubarb in. I had frozen rhubarb. So I simmered that last night. I'm going to drain that mostly because I need the pot, and also I want to can up that rhubarb juice. All right, I'll bring you along as I go. Wish me luck. I usually do this when the kids aren't home, but I do have 3 kids home today and also a 1-year-old border collie that we just got back from our walk. So wish me luck. Okay, so I just took my rhubarb juice out of the fridge. It was in this pot. I now have this heating up. It's 8:30 and I'm just straining this through my strainer. I'm going to put it in some jars. I'm just going to stick this in the fridge for now because I don't want to bring my canner out yet. The kitchen's going to be a bit of a mess. So this will probably get canned last, but I need the pot. Okay, so just while my meat is browning, I kind of cleared anything that I'm doing right away. So I'm going to brown off all the meat first. But while that's browning, the sausage is in there right now. I'm just going to go ahead and grate up these carrots. And anything I need my mixer for, I'm going to use right away. And then I can get my mixer cleaned and just put it away because it does take up quite a bit of real estate. So I left the skins on. I just ended them. This is 2 pounds of carrots, but it's going to go in shepherd's pie and chicken pot pie. So I'll just grate these up using this, and then next I will do up my cheese. Actually, I have some garlic scapes in the fridge I'd like to use up, so maybe I'll grate those up too, and then I'll do my cheese. All right, that's my carrots and my garlic scapes done. I'm now going to grate my cheese. I did brown off my sausage. Now, I didn't add any seasoning to this. This is sausage that was made here with our side pork. So there's tons of seasoning in it, but I did drain it. I kept the fat because I'm going to use that fat when I make the gravy for the sausage pie. And then over here, I just have started the first 2 pounds of meat. I'm just going to do them 2 at a time. Now I'm going to be doing 50% ground beef and 50% ground venison, and that's going to be for our lasagnas. All right, I'll bring it over and grate some cheese. All right, we're just about 45 minutes in. It is 9:19. So, cooked those first 2 pounds of ground beef and deer. This is my second shot on. I just threw some garlic, onion, salt, and pepper. Now, when I assemble this, I will add more seasoning, but this is just so the meat itself is seasoned. And then I went ahead and I just put this on my big pot, and I'm going to do my lasagna noodles in here. I find lasagna is a lot easier to work with if it cools quite a bit, so I'm going to do the lasagna noodles first. And I'll take you over here. And then over here we have our sauerkraut fermenting from the other day. We have our sausage browned off. That's the fat from the sausage. 2 bricks of cream cheese are softening. Those are our scallops. That's going to be for one of our pasta dishes. Our spinach is just thawing out. There's our grated carrots and our big old bowl of cheese. So this is going to be for the lasagna and for chicken enchiladas. So we're getting through our prep. And next up, so I got the noodles on. I'm browning that meat. And I should probably bring out some potatoes and start peeling potatoes for the topping of our sausage pie. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm actually going to make my pie dough first for the top of my chicken pot pie. I'm going to be using lard that we rendered. So I brought 3 up from the freezer downstairs. So it's just a pie dough. So just fat, flour, salt. I think I usually put sugar in it, but very little, and then just water to combine. Now you can do this in the KitchenAid. I am going to be just where I'm going to be making a triple batch, so that'll make 6 pie crusts. I'm not sure if I'll need them all for the chicken pot pies. I think I plan on making 4 of them in the 9x13 pans. But if I have leftover, then I have a plan for that as well. So yeah, I'm going to get this started in here. Okay, I may live to regret this, but I'm going to try to do a triple batch at once. All right, so in my bowl, I have 7.5 cups of flour. I'm going to put in 3 teaspoons of salt. To start, so each recipe takes a cup of lard. To start, I'm going to put in 1.5 cups. I'll just get that salt mixed in first. These ones are good, or liquid, not as liquid. Okay, as that coats now, I'm going to add the rest of my lard, and then I'm going to add some cold water. So I'm not going to be able to talk while this is on, but you'll see what I'm doing. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to pop over and take my next batch of beef off, and my water is almost boiled for my pasta. A crumbly texture, and I have some ice water. You can also use vodka, but there is no way I'm wasting vodka on pie dough. And I didn't put sugar in this. This is just salt because it's a savory dough. I did save 2 of my lids off my lard so I can put it on my rhubarb juice that's in the fridge, just so it doesn't get any little debris in it while it's sitting in there. All right, so this is the consistency I'm looking for, just a dough. So I just shaped these into roughly 4 equal sized pieces. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop these in the bowl and put them in the fridge to rest until I am ready for them. Okay, for a time check, we are now at 10 o'clock, so it's been an hour and a half. Now, I did put all my ground beef in a smaller bowl, but I'm actually going to make my filling right now for my lasagna. I'm just going to do it all in one big bowl. So it's going to be homemade tomato sauce, tomato paste, some canned mushrooms, homemade red pepper spread, and then the meat mixture as well. And that's going to be one of my layers in my lasagna. The noodles are cooking right now. And after I pop all these tops back here and get this mixed up, that'll free up my other medium bowl, and then I will start getting all my chicken in there for chicken pot pie, and then I'll make a separate bowl for my chicken enchilada. I only have so many bowls, so I have to kind of spread them out. All right, that's what's going on next. Okay, I only have about 3 minutes until my lasagna noodles are done, so I'll try to get this done quick. This is what I use to open up my jars. I find this works best. I think this came free with a case of beer 2 decades ago, back when we used to drink Alexander Keys. So, I didn't grab any particular homemade tomato sauce. I just grabbed 6 off the shelf. That was Sloppy Joe mix. This is a marinara. This is a salsa. A different kind of salsa. And then we have 2 garlic basil tomato sauces. So these are all made from homegrown, home canned ingredients. Now, because my tomato sauce tends to be a bit thin, second, I'm going to grab a spatula. I am going to add some tomato paste. This is stuff I got from, I believe, No Frills. So this is one I used last week when I made my wontons. I only used about a tablespoon of it. So I'll use the rest of this one. And then I'll use the other 3 there too. I just need to grab a can opener. Oh, and I'm going to put my red pepper spread in here too. So this is a little bit thicker. This is great mixed with cream cheese on crackers. I still have quite a few of these down there. Probably 3 jars of this left. When did I make this? I made this in October. And I was thinking, so I mark on most of my jars how much it costs me to make. This is actually probably one of the more expensive items, just where peppers tend to be more expensive. But I think what I'll do, even though it'll take me longer to do, I think it's important to be transparent. There's my nudes. I think I will add everything up and try to give you a cost per serving on these freezer meals at the end, because I like doing that and I think it's important. All right, I'm going to take my noodles off and drain them and grab a can opener for the tomato paste. Okay, lasagna is drained and I just went and filled the pot back up to cook my noodles for my pesto pasta bake. Oh my God, I hate this can opener. Does anyone have a can opener recommendation? One that they've had for 30 years that doesn't break? I just want a regular old manual can opener that doesn't suck. Okay, well, you don't need to hear me struggling with this, so I will get these opened up and added to my pot of lasagna filling. I'm also going to open up these mushrooms. I'm just going to put 3 cans of mushrooms in. And normally I'd leave them whole, but because 2 of my kids are a little picky about mushrooms, I'm going to go ahead and blitz them up in the immersion blender. All right, I'll be back. Okay, you want to blitz those up for me, darling? I know I use the spatula. Oh, here. Just use these and kind of push them down a little bit so that the chunkies go down at the bottom. Okay.
I'm still using that.
Say that's good, honey, and you want to add them. Oh, you want here? That's good. And you can add them to those. You can use this if you want. It doesn't matter. Everything's going in the same pot. Now I gotta go with the stupid can opener again that I hate.
That I broke by opening tuna somehow.
Where is it? Oh, right beside me.
Will this just be a hole?
No, you can take the whole thing out. Don't touch it because that's the sharp part. Yeah, perfect. And then you can just use a spatula to scrape it out.
I'm scared of it. Okay, what is open?
The boys won't even know they're eating vegetables.
You know what? If the boys don't eat vegetables, you could always make pancakes, but like have like lettuce and like some pieces of broccoli in the mix.
Yeah. Here, let me give an extra little scoop. Don't want to waste a drop. Do you want to get some of this tomato sauce out for me? How'd that one end up on the outside?
Yeah.
Do you think you can do that without cutting your fingers on it? You have to use the spatula.
This guy's thick.
Be a thick boy. I'll get you to stir, honey.
Okay.
Just stir it gently because there's a lot in there. And this is our 8 pounds of meat.
Oh my
This is going to make 4 lasagnas. Oh, that's probably broccoli in camera.
Oh my
All right.
god.
Gentle
One of them
stirring.
fell on my foot.
Oh wow, that's a sample then.
Good thing my feet are clean. Sort of.
Well, just don't put them in the meat. No feet in the meat. Okay, give her a stir, baby. I'll get rid of this. I gotta wash with this bowl. Is there? Okay, now that we have our lasagna filling made up, we're gonna do our chicken pot pie. So this is from when last time I made chicken stock. I just took all the chicken off. And then we're gonna do, so do you know what I need? I wanna save this chicken broth for when we do our gravy.
You need a strainer.
Yep, there should be one there. Yeah. Not that one, the little fine mesh one. Alright, so first we're going to make our pot pie filling. So it has that chicken from making stock. And I'm just going to reserve the chicken broth from these that are home canned because I'll use that when I'm making my gravy for my pot pie. And these are chicken thighs that have been canned bone in. So I'll just have to pick out the bones. All right, my camera is dying, but I'm gonna try to get this as much as I can done. So I just took my carrots and divided among my sausage and my chicken that I just put in for my chicken pot pie. This is gonna be chicken for chicken quesadillas. So each of these jars holds 2 pounds of chicken. And this is chicken breast. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in here and shred it up. And then this bowl will become my enchilada filling. We're soon going to have to take a break anyway and do some cleanup because everything's a mess. And I just have a few jalapenos I had in the fridge. So I'm just going to mince those up. Okay, so this is the chicken enchilada. So it's one of the quart jars of the chicken breast, about 3 cups of shredded cheese, and that's mozzarella and cheddar. I then put a whole block of cream cheese, a half a container of sour cream, garlic, onion, I think that's it. So this is just going to go in the flour tortillas, and then when we cook it, we'll put the sauce on it. I did do it the other way before, and I find it gets really soggy. So I'm almost out of battery. It is 10:30, but we have a lot of dishes too. So I'm gonna get this mixed up, and then I'm gonna get the rest of the stuff that I can get fit in the fridge. Can you put this in the fridge too, honey?
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna take some time to clean up, and we'll come back in like 45 minutes. Okay, we just took about an hour break. It's now 11:45. So I started throwing together the first one. I wanted to fry up those scallops. I hadn't done it yet. So I just put them in here, and then I decided to just combine everything right in here. So this is basil, parsley, chives, lime, cream cheese, pasta, and scallops. So this is just going to go into my first one, and that's my first freezer meal done, and then I'll get this second pesto pasta dish done. All right, so I just put my first one in one of these foil pans. This is about 11.5 by 9.5. I got these from Superstore. I was able to combine a couple offers and get them. The only thing is they don't come with lids, so I'll have to put some foil over this, and then I cut some pieces of cardboard just so I can stack them in the freezer. Now I just got started in this pot. This will be my second pesto pasta. This one I'm going to make with chicken. So I just threw in, thought I was recording, but I wasn't, the rest of my basil from last year, a couple sticks of chive butter, and I'll save those last couple sticks for another recipe, and a couple sticks of parsley as well. So I'm just kind of trying to use stuff up because I'm starting to get stuff out of the garden, so I want to use my stuff from last year first. I'm going to go grab that canned chicken and add that, and then I'll add my pasta, and I've got half a block of cream cheese. I will also say that it is now just about 12 o'clock, it's about 11:45. We had some lunch, and I got all those dishes done. So back on track. Okay, so where my last pasta had that thing of scallops in it, this is just one of those quart jars of chicken. And then I'll add the rest of my cooked noodles. Nothing to it. So I'll just get this all mixed up and let this pasta, I undercook the pasta so that when this does cook in the oven, it will soak up all this flavor in this herbs and lime and cream cheese. Okay, so I'll grab another one of those foil things, and I will get my next one done, and then we'll have 2 done out of 15. I think I'll save just that last little bit. I'll have that for my lunch. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the lasagna. So we have our meat sauce here. That's the stuff we mixed up together. This is spinach, ricotta cheese, cream cheese, sour cream, just all the little bits left over. And then I also threw a couple eggs in there. We got a package of wonton wrappers there. Will be noodles for one. And then our lasagna noodles we cooked for the other 2. And then in the fridge we have some grated cheese. So let's see how this goes. All right, now that I'm spreading these out, I think I'm actually gonna make 5. So I'll probably have 3 made with wonton wrappers and 2 made with the noodles. Because this is a lot of hamburger. Okay, you probably see that a little better. So I did a meat layer on the bottom. And then I decided to do 5 instead of 4 because I think I'm gonna have more meat filling than I realized. And if I have to do more, then that's all right too. Or I can always do a pasta with meat sauce. So I'm gonna use these wonton wrappers. Now, a couple weeks ago, I did make up a whole bunch of wontons, but I did have one package of the wrappers left, but I thought they'd make nice noodles for lasagna. They have pretty much an egg noodle texture. So I'm going to do 3 with the wonton wrappers, and then I'm going to do 2 with just the regular noodles. So we're going to just keep layering basically until we run out of filling or room, whatever comes first. So this is 12 wrappers per layer, and I want to say, I did count them when I was doing the wontons. I think there's 56 wrappers per package. Anyway, we'll see. It'll all work out. Okay, I'll keep going along with this, and then I'll bring you back when we're doing our spinach layer. Okay, so these 2 are done. I had to visualize if I was gonna have enough or too much or whatever. I wanted to get an idea of what I had. So these 2 are both the wonton wrappers. These 2 are gonna be all noodles. And this one's just gonna have a couple wonton wrappers and the rest lasagna noodles. So we'll just split this amongst these 3. Because ideally you want to use up everything you have without leftovers. So yeah, I have a layer of the meat mixture, a layer of the cheese and spinach, and then more noodles, and then another layer of meat. So I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. I have 18 lasagna noodles. And lasagna is very forgiving. I'm just going to take a little bit of this just for that spot there. Still might have leftover meat sauce, but that's okay. I'm totally okay with that because this will freeze well just on its own. All right, so I managed to use up all the meat sauce. And I just have my cheese I grated earlier. And yes, I am going to weigh how much I put on each one because I want to make sure they're even. Don't want to run out on the last one. And I've already put cheese in my enchilada mix. There, that actually looks great to me. And once again, these will get foil and put in the freezer. I should put my apron back on or I'm going to be covered. I'll get my apron on, I'll get the rest of these covered, and then we will move on to chicken pot pie. No, we'll move on to, yes, chicken pot pie. I have to roll with the dough for that, that's all. I just grabbed the pie dough that I made earlier, and I'm gonna let that sit and rest on the counter for about 20 minutes before I roll it out. In the meantime, I'm gonna start making my gravy. Now the gravy is gonna go on the chicken pot pie and the shepherd's pie, so I'm gonna make quite a bit of it. I'm gonna make 7 trays altogether. let's say maybe 10 cups of gravy. Let's see what I come up with. All right, so got my trusty Dutch oven here again. So a whole cup of fat, that seems like a lot, but I'm making a lot. Okay, so this is the drippings from the sausage. Okay, so that was a whole cup. So we're gonna add equal parts of flour. This is gonna be our roux. The gravy. This pot is too hot. There. I kind of started doing other stuff. Okay, so that is our fat and our flour. And we're just gonna let this cook down a little bit so it cooks that flour taste out. Okay, so I did end up adding, so I think the drippings had still some water in them from, because it was frozen sausage. So I ended up grabbing a little bit of lard I had in the fridge. I just used it to grease my cast irons. And it was maybe, I don't know, 1/8 of a cup, a couple tablespoons. So now I'm just going to start slowly adding, this is the chicken stock from my canned chicken. I'll probably need more than this. I only have 4 cups. And this is going to make way more than 4 cups of gravy. So I find if you make the roux, it's really easy to get the lumps out. That's 2 cups. And I'm on about a medium-high heat. And I'm going to throw so when you can your own chicken, I do raw pack, so it's just the liquid that comes out of the chicken, so it's really flavorful. I might even be able to just thin this out with water, but if not, I have either more chicken stock downstairs I have canned, or I can just add some bouillon cubes and some water. All right, I'm gonna let this thicken up, and I'm gonna pop a couple jars of potatoes. I decided I'm gonna use my canned potatoes for the sausage pie, for the topping of the sausage pie, because I don't really like them for mashed potatoes, but where we're baking it in the oven, I think it'll be fine. And I have some leftover mashed potatoes from the roast we had the night before last. So that'll use up another leftover. So that'll be no leftovers in the fridge. I did end up throwing, we had carrots and broccoli the other night with that roast, and I threw that in with the chicken pie mix. Okay, so I'm gonna let this thicken and then maybe thin it out and just keep an eye on it. And I'll go get started on my chicken filling. Just so I don't have to move the camera, I'm adding 2 of these 2 cups, so 4 cups of canned corn to my chicken, carrots, onion, garlic. What else is in there? Oh, that little tiny bit of broccoli, some chive, and what else? Parsley, and then it'll be the gravy on top, and then covered in the dough. Okay, so these are my canned potatoes. I got 3 1-liter jars of canned potatoes, and then those are just some leftover potatoes from Tuesday night. And I'll bring it over and show you how my dishes are looking. Okay, so this is the chicken pot pie. I made about 8 cups of gravy, 7 to 8 cups, and I just split it equally between each tray. I just poured it on top. I'll give it a little mix in. The chicken has the canned chicken, grated carrots, canned corn, parsley, chives. Is that it? And then the gravy. And then the sausage has the cooked sausage, a can of home canned corn, and that's split between the three of them. And then I threw in some peas I had in the freezer as well, chives, parsley, and then I also threw that gravy on top. Now I did thin that gravy with 4 more cups of water. It definitely didn't need any more salt. So now I got the potatoes going for these. Now it's time for me to roll out my dough. So I won't show you me doing it because I'm absolutely terrible at rolling out dough, but I just roll it out to, I don't know, a 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch thick, as thick as I feel like, and then attempt to put it on the top, and then it breaks, and then I just smush it all together, and I say good enough. That is my technique. Ta-da! See, it really looked pretty until I attempted to put it on. Oh well. It's still going to taste absolutely delicious. This pie crust is delicious. I love it with the lard in it. 1 more to go. All right, my potatoes are just in the pot. I just need to spread them on top. And I'm going to do my chicken enchiladas. This would be super duper easy. Now, when I go to bake these, I'm just going to freeze these rolled up, but then when I go to cook them, I'll put enchilada sauce and probably some cheese on top, like a casserole. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. Oh, this package must have been open. It's supposed to be 13. This has been in the fridge, so it's like super duper thick. We'll see how many this makes. I'm not sure. I was counting on maybe about 20. I wonder what would fit in the pan. We'll see. Concentrate. You're almost done. I did end up putting some hot sauce in this as well because it was pretty bland with the canned chicken. So it's chicken, cream cheese, sour cream, onions and garlic, jalapeno, and some hot sauce. Just like sriracha, like nothing too crazy. She's thick though. Okay, I just gotta go turn off those mashed potatoes. I can hear them sizzling. I'm hoping they cook up on the casserole okay. I don't know if it's just me, but canned potatoes are not the best. I don't think I'd do it again. I don't find it overly convenient, and the texture is just not for me. Maybe I did it wrong. I don't know. All right. We'll give that a go, and we'll see how much we can make more. I probably have about 1/3 of the mixture left, so I'm not doing anything fancy with these. Just fold. Oops. All right, I'll keep on. I'm just gonna freeze these flat in fish trays, and then once they're frozen, I'll put them in freezer bags. All right, there we have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 casseroles, which should be 8 to 10 servings each. And then, how many is it? 18, I think, chicken quesadillas. So those will be like another 2 casseroles once I make them up. So 16 meals that serve 8 to 10 people. I'm confident in saying 150 servings on this table in less than 6 hours. I do have a few dishes left to do, but I also did take almost an hour for lunch. I'm just letting a couple of these cool. The potatoes are still really hot on these sausage pies. And yes, pay no attention to how terrible the toppings look. It will all cook up and you won't even notice. Okay, I'm going to go over the prices of everything and I'll give you a rundown. I got to go do some dishes first though. So this is definitely going to save me time in the long run, but what about the costs? My most expensive costs, of course, we are in Canada, is my protein costs. Everything is listed there. A lot of stuff I was able to get on sale throughout the last few months. And then, of course, dairy is also quite expensive here, but I was able to get some great deals on Flashfood for those items as well. It would have been more if I had to pay full price. Where I save the most money would be on vegetables because I'm able to do a lot of stuff homegrown or buy things seasonally and can them myself. So those are my prices on my vegetables. You can always press pause here if you want to look at the individual numbers. And then just like miscellaneous things like flour, salt, my pasta, the wraps, noodles, that sort of thing. Those are listed here. So in total, I spent $131.39, and that makes these 88 cents a serving if I'm counting 150 servings. Now, I didn't account for my pans because I do reuse them, but if I did, it would be 94 cents a serving. So very cost effective and will save me time in the long run and decrease my stress. That is my massive pile of dishes. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Bye now.